Hi, it's me, and back with another Zomboid stream. We are approaching the final hours of the end of Build 41 and the start of Build 42. And if this game is to your preference, join me as I tour the last few areas of Build 41 Death Legion. Subscribe, click the notification button to be informed of future content, and I hope you found this stream to be satisfactory. But first, it is night time. There's not much daylight remaining, so I'm just gonna sleep. I shall sleep until an appropriate time where the sun shines once more. By the time the people in the Western Hemisphere wakes up, it will be Build 42 for them. And I do not have much time left, and so might have to rush things. The time is 3:10. The world is dark. The sun will return in about 20 minutes. I shall continue sleeping some more. Okay, 5:30. Okay, the day has sufficiently brightened. So from West Point Community Center, also known as the gas station, let me just walk the place. Okay, I shall take a short walk around the commercial center, then the suburbs, travel to Benview, and then the rest of Greater West Point. Here, the commercial strip is mostly devoid of human build, except for the restaurant. Someone wanted to make the auto repair shop their base, but then they didn't continue on that endeavor for too long. Okay, and so we have this base here, well fortified, intruder proof. If not for the fact that zombies can still get through the wooden double fences. Oh dear, a fog is rolling in. Visibility will be impaired. Whatever will I do? Eddie Emerson. Okay, this gravel path, custom built, serves as a shortcut between Benview, the commercial strip, to the gun store. Yeah, this weapons range is custom copy and paste. It doesn't exist here naturally. You can say it's admin build. This here is not an admin build. It is built by a player who has wanted to take over the the local bar. And I think they did a good job of taking over. The unfortunate fact that wooden walls can't keep out zombies. It's just a matter of time before all the zombies destroy the walls. It's a pity. Simple room, a campfire, clean water, plum, and an escape road. Looks like someone died here. Spencer, Washington. This church, not a community center, nothing much was being built. However, the surrounding buildings have all been taken over to become a faction base. And this is the faction base HQ. Nothing impressive at first sight. Okay, the impressive part is here, perhaps. Okay, potential room for much, much more. And the perimeter fenced up, created up. Outposts atop the gas station. This was an early experiment by yours truly, myself, to wall off a perimeter to try and prevent zombies from spawning inside. It was supposed to be the empty space for parking, quick access to tools and materials from the warehouse, and a quick getaway across the raised platform and onto the gas station. Let's see if the generator is still around. Yes, the generator to this place is still around, hidden in plain sight, able to supply power to gas station, refrigerators, and the such. Yeah, so I guess this is about the player builds around the commercial area. Yeah. Leading up to to the wealthy suburbs. Yeah, this was a player base made with a huge effort and plastered walls. Unfortunately, all that remains is an abandoned base packed with all sorts of supplies, available space for parking. Okay, nothing much was done to build it beyond just the perimeter walls. Okay, and such houses can be found all along West Point. Perimeter fencing of various progress, unprogress. Not much to be done in terms of a mega structure. The mega structure for West Point are all located outside. Whoops! Why is my world not loading? I'm hitting a wall of black. Hi, Sticky. How much time left to get B42 out? Because now it's 29. Let's just say in a few more hours. Or in fact, if you close and reopen Steam, who knows? You might have a pleasant surprise. Some people have speculated 5 a.m. Eastern US time. Others thought that since the developers are in the European region, they might set it at 8 a.m. Europe CET. 8 a.m. CET will be just around the corner. I can't say for sure because I'm still trying to finish my quota of visiting what remains of B41. So at this point in time, I have to apologize. I'm not able to answer your question fully. Okay, as the morning grows, the fog grows together with it, and depending on whether it's a light fog or heavy fog, the fog will have to disperse at 1400 to 1600 hours in game. That's about 6 to 8 hours of unmitigatable fog. So West Point is largely untouched by players. Zombie population too high, too frequent for people to want to live there. However, further up, there are some pockets of low zombie density, and this is where you start to see player safe houses. Though not many has stuck around long enough to continue building a mega structure, and those who sticks around, their base are further away. Okay, one moment while I answer the question in chat. Dun, 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 dun. Right, once used to have a radio station as a mega lounge, a big construction. All that's left is just default houses, a makeshift parking and graveyard, and everything related to that lounge in the air has all been returned to factory settings. Okay, a well-built player structure, almost a fortress, if not for the fact that are these metal walls being disassembled or destroyed by zombies? I can't really tell. But in any case, whatever the player has done, it has been undone. Okay, and this road, no, not this road, the other road. Okay, a successful build, not not too traveled, as in zombies don't really travel around this area because it's just too big. Okay, but this place not so successful. All the crates mostly destroyed. Either that or it's incomplete. Nothing out of the ordinary. A poor attempt at building wooden walls, almost all but destroyed. Same for this house. Walls are practically destroyed from one point of approach. Okay, this player base is only able to stand on its own because log walls, composters, all around the corners. And wait, why are the zombies inside? And they are inside because this is the weakest point. Just because you block it with a vent doesn't mean that zombies are not able to spawn within the compound. A tactical mistake. Same for this. The walls are slightly better in the sense that it's plastered walls. But where are all the crates? Not enough wood to build the crates. Just a matter of time. Okay, and here we have the man-made road and the man-made floor art pointing towards Benville. Okay, the last living hub of human activity in the final hours of Build 41 Death Legion. Yeah, the man-made settlement is built across the river. Let's just say the mayor of this town has done some remodeling. Old houses have been torn down, new houses have been built. The settlement has been expanded by probably one-fold. Okay, the fishing shack has been leveled to the ground, and because of its population count, they have earned their gas pump and drinking well. The Church of Spifo demolished. Yokoyo's house, this is what remains. Okay, a mansion being torn down to whatever this is remaining. You can see that this has been well thought out. Hedges and statues from elsewhere. Okay, and now contrast this to the wooden structures that you see in the allotted compounds. It's free real estate, but it is not free real estate at the same time. Okay, the community parking lot, free cars for the residents. Okay, someone is in the middle of building their dream home. Okay, they got the plumbing and cooking settled first. A well plastered home. Okay, and the wooden floors serve as a guideline to lay out the gravel roads. This man-made settlement has man-made roads leading up to different towns. So as you can see, practically you have nothing here. However, there are roads that lead to Riverside in the west, Valley Station in the east, Louisville in the north. Since they are already outside West Point, I shall show them later. Let's continue to walk up to where all the mega structures are. Okay, West Point, towards the tree houses at the lake, towards the farmlands. Couple of points of interest. Far away from human activity, only visible to people who has researched the Project Zomboid map. Yeah, this building has a special place in my heart. I name it the Tower of Babel, based on the mythological fact that the player has abandoned this tower just before he finished plastering all the walls. Okay, what starts as a normal house with all the furniture removed, the perimeter built around it. Can't climb the ship road when it's attached to the crate like that. Okay, so this is how you get to the top. where all the supplies are. There's supposed to be sheet ropes. Okay, and this is almost the top of the tower. All that's left, the crowning achievement of carpeted flooring. No, can't climb. Too high? No, it's not too high. It's I don't have a connection to the top. Yep, and with this, down I go. This this area that I'm going to visit next is used to be a faction headquarters. All that is left, a Spifo restaurant, items on the floor, and lots of empty rooms for the rest of the faction members. And it's not just a large floor area, it is also building vertically up. Garage, garden, external perimeter, log walls with tables in front, followed by a fence. And if you need to commit suicide, okay, there are other high-rise areas that you can visit. Okay, Kim WSPN, West Point. And then there is other buildings even more west of it. Let's travel up and have a look. Okay, the advantage of building a base here is you have a mixture of forest, of farmland, uh, urban areas, road, good for foraging if you are not the fishing kind. And if you are the fishing kind, you can stop by over here. This is someone's base. Okay, what used to be forest has now been cleared for all the woodwork. An uneventful drive that will eventually lead to someone's house. The reason why I'm not using a fast travel or fast move is because due to the amount of lag that I have on the server, which is currently now on the dangerously high side of 500 to 700 to 1000. I'll rather move at a slower pace to ensure that the server loads the map for me rather than quickly arriving at the place only to find that the server couldn't keep up and decided to just give up. I hope this issue will not be uh, the same in build 42. And this is your guard post to what is going to be the faction headquarters for Ross. It's impressive what 3 people can do. This house not included. This house used to be owned by a independent player. But this place here and this house, yeah, belongs to the faction. The interior is probably a bit empty since most of the supplies and furnitures would have been dismantled for experience or brought back to headquarters. Okay, pretty neat. 3 to 4 floors high, surrounded by flags, paints, vehicles, vehicles of the high quality variety. Everywhere is their garage because they have no sense of organization. It's just drive all the cars and park it here and repair it at a later time. Too many vehicles for my liking. So this is where all the jeeps, all terrains, corvettes come to rest. Okay, and with this, it's more or less the inner perimeter of Ross HQ. And then there's the outer perimeter. Uh, why do I know? Because I helped to build parts of the outer perimeter. And someone has lifted out a crate, so it is no longer zombie type. Well, not that zombies are actually spawn around this area. It is literally, virtually zombie free. So even these perimeter walls are actually redundant. But it does help to keep wandering strangers at bay. Okay, it is sad to see this base evaporate into non-existence because the server will be moved to legacy, but such is life. Let's hope that the faction will return in build 42. You clear the words. Okay, I think it's clear enough. Okay, then as for the outskirts of West Point, the farmhouses, not all of them has been converted to player safe house, player base, and the most of them that actually do the building is incomplete. Speaking of incomplete, the house has been leveled and all that's left is a square. Okay, by my standards, if this square has been left abandoned for too long, it would have been reverted to default. I would have resetted this building to its original factory settings. I guess it's too late for me to do moderation work. Okay, I've already earmarked it. What's here? Nothing is here. And if there was something here in the past, you wouldn't have known what changed. Perhaps the lack of furniture. Okay, it's time to leave West Point and head over to Valley Station. Let's take the highway. Okay, and the outskirts of West Point, in between areas where zombies spawn and don't spawn, the West Point Bridge. A man-made driveway. If there's a driveway, it must end at someone's house. Looks like there wasn't enough sand or gravel. But yes, this is someone's house. You can consider this a swimming pool. Looks like besides stealing furniture, most of the furniture here are handmade. Okay, maybe not a bed. Well furnished mansion. Unfortunately, no water barrels on top. Okay, another little relatively zombie-free environment. Good place to set up a home. And speaking of home, here's another building. Okay, this one's slightly more visible from the highway. Wow, there's a lot of generators and battery chargers. Crates, supplies. More crates. Uh, and this must be the open air recreational corner. And what's this? A camera, a queen size bed, well decorated room. I don't think there would be any player builds along the way until my forever home. So now let's begin walking the ground along Valley Station. Not the best place to set up camp with so little room for movement, flanked by a fence on one side and the river on the other. This place is just a repository for chopping trees. Okay, the Great Big Top Bypass Road. And Min Build. And now behold the creativity of a noob that built his base 4 years ago. Okay, the escape road number 1. The escape road number 2. Lock walls, fences to make it airtight. Open air camp, fishing spot just by the river. Supplies for the wanderers and my neighbor. No, actually my neighbor lives further down. Yeah, this house belongs to one of my early neighbors. Kept to himself most of the time, but he certainly stored up a large amount of supplies. And this is the extent of my neighbor's perimeter fence. Outside of this, it's no man's land. No one's living around here. The food market, closest place to get food of the dry variety, fortified by me and other residents along Valley Station just to keep it zombie tight. and a whole lot of buildings that people don't really live in, except for this one. This one was a second forever home for a previous faction leader whose name has now slipped from my memories. Okay, it's just a well-built perimeter with a mini golf area. Nothing much outside of that. Across the road from the highway, the rest stop that also serves as the nearest gas station. This place has been converted into a spawn point for Valley Station, exclusively on Death Legion. So you can choose to respawn here in this building if you want to have the quickest way to get to Louisville. And this place here, someone decided to make it a player base. Oops. Looks like they demolished the floor, preventing anyone from uh, walking into the room. So the only way to access it will be through the sheet rope. Cozy with generators. The whole place will be powered. Okay, and further up, as I near my faction headquarters, the big top, uh, there will be more construction based around zombie control, keeping zombies in, keeping zombies out. Okay, the other convenience store to get food is not being built up. Not like the Junk Baron. The Junk Baron has become a mega base with this house as the outpost. Yeah, it was one of the mid-game attempts of building a large structure that is zombie-proof, considered outdoors, lined up with plenty of supplies. But before I could continue to build it, I've lost interest. So everything now is just left as it is. Yeah, all the wood. Even this pile of wood will not be sufficient for whatever I plan to build. This road used to lead to a fishing spot. This is the fishing spot, and this is the admin built road that leads to the shortcut for Benville. 。 . 。 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . A player tried to make this area their base, but they didn't stick too long to complete the perimeter fences. These houses used to serve as faction residences, and this was one of the most successful faction resident, called the UFO Tower. And this enclosed structure is just to commemorate the death of one of his favorite cars. He died too soon with everything destroyed, and he decided to build a monument for it. Pyramid Road. Pyramid Building. Okay, this building here was not originally built here, but some player has decided to make this their home. I don't know who this house belongs to. The player wasn't staying long enough for me to find out. And if you were to turn in, okay, for Build 41 Death Legion players who have stayed long enough, they would know that this is the big top, a circus-like looking structure for clowns. This is the garage section, and this is the HQ section. Yeah, I added a mode around it when I became a moderator. Okay, this is the extent of the headquarters, and members all stay in various houses near this place, including the trailer park at the back. Well, you can't really see much except for the Ruby Gas signboard because the rest of the area are all built up above it. Activating stealth mode. You won't see me among the plants. Okay, and this is the community area for the faction. All the supplies that someone will need all around here. This is a catwalk to reach the generator here that will power the street lights. With these lights lighted up at night, people will know that this place is occupied. The community kitchen, don't mind the crate tower, it's not supposed to be there. And this is the executives area. More than enough supplies for you to take on the world. And if it's not enough, there's more space up ahead. Oops. Okay, more than enough water to last a lifetime. Maybe more. And if there's not enough, there's still space above. Yeah, and this is one of the reasons why the big top annoys other players too much. Because there's just too much construction going on in a small plot of land. And wait, there's more. Wait, okay. There's a structure above the road as well. More construction. And the super secret presidential office, the cubicle in the sky. And this is where you can overlook whoever travels along the highway. And the trailer park over here has been walled off, sealed from the external, such that residents, faction members here have ease of mind. Their houses will not be attacked by zombies in the night. Seems like the fog has lifted. It's not no longer looking foggy anymore. Okay, so we have the default trailers and we have man-made buildings for anyone and everyone who decides to be a faction member. And as for the food, we have both a mixture of vegetables and fish. Yeah, this is a little farming and fishing spot built around a glitch in the matrix. And this is the original fishing spot, all connected by a sky bridge. And the bridge is supposed to lead you to the upper floors of the Valley Station Church. Okay, not frequently used, if at all. But this is just an additional real estate space. Hi Maverick. Okay, and from the big top, you can actually travel to south, and this is where we are going to go next. We're going to go south and look at all the pyramid buildings slightly below. And I've hit the wall, the black wall. It's time for me to wait here for a while to see if the map loads. If the map does not load, I will have to log out and log in. This is the South Valley Station Highway. Gravel and sand road flanked on both sides by composters to keep zombies in and out. Alright, seems like the world isn't loading for me. Please wait while I log out and log in once more. Yeah, it's always quite tricky walking around places with huge construction projects because if the server is slow for me, it's gonna take a long time to load, and if the server doesn't. Okay, I'm still receiving map chunks. The server didn't die on me. No! I've hit the wall once more. Okay, at least this time the server managed to load the world. The server has loaded the world for me. A little shortcut road made specifically to get guns and ammunitions from the nearby hunting lodge and gun store. And here it is, the gun store. And the hunting lodge. Someone used to make this place their base, but then when they abandoned it, it was restored to default. Okay, uh, next I would like to show you this particular safe house. Okay, this safe house is a player base that sits around the gas station, perfectly walled off, sealed, and zombie free. And also because of so much construction, it is another map loading hazard. And if you are feeling adventurous, there's also a connection to the nearby Valley Station Mall, so that you can be running above all the zombies. Took me some time to build, but once it was ready, it was just a matter of quickly transporting items in and out through the bridge without needing to defend myself against all the zombies. And here I am on the roof of the mall, and I'm inside the mall already. Second floor. Okay. Another valley station built. The farmlands. Here, one, two, three. The burn village, four. And then we will be almost on our way to Louisville. Okay, a widely perimetered compound. This is the player's base. This whole place belongs to one player, and the player decided to call it a day after finish building, never to be seen again. Jason Wyan survived 2 years, 8 months, 19 days. Rest in peace. And that was the last we saw of the player. Okay, next body of water, the campsite. Okay, one moment. Zombie? I'm not too familiar with this campsite. It's been too long since I've last visited. I think it was only home to ever one group of people. Not many other players choose this place to be their base. And that's the reason why the whole area has been overgrown. Looks like there wasn't much built around here. Oops, my bad. Any player builds around here? If not, I will move on to the next area. Okay, not entirely obvious. Okay, next area it is then. Okay, the telltale signs of someone who lived their lives here. Walls, lots of vehicles, a farm. And is this supposed to be SOS? Can't be too sure. I guess not much was built. Zombie? Is this a player zombie? It doesn't look like it. Not a player zombie. Right, this is the extent of the player base. Greenhouse. Greenhouse indeed. How about closer to the lake? Anyone building over there? Is any player building a base around here? Nope, no player builds. Okay, next area. The Chart Village. You have thought nothing would live here, not even zombies. Well, that's only half the story that people tell you. The other half, someone decided to move in and make this their base. Alright, I think we found it. This is the player base. And this house... No, it's not a safe house. Rescue vehicles, a wardrobe, infirmary, gym. Nothing much around it. There will come soft rains. There will come soft rains and the smell of the ground, and swallows circling with their shimmering sound, and frogs in the pool singing at night, and wild plum trees in tremulous white. Robins will wear their feathery fire, whistling their whims on a low fence wire, and not one will know of the war, not one will care at last when it's done, not one would mind, neither the bird nor tree, if mankind perish utterly, and spring herself, when she woke at dawn, would scarcely know that we were gone. And if you can see the lower right corner of my screen, you can see the numbers going up. That's a known issue. Error when you open up a note or journal. Okay, your legacy will be remembered. Now on to the next area. Okay, the farm area, the farmer's market, right at the outskirts of Louisville. We will have passed the military checkpoint on this location already, but that's not the important part. The important part is still to come. A perimeter wall, a faction compound, blasted walls, took an effort. Garage, sheet rope going up. Okay, and beyond the faction compound, the annex building, the farm shed. Okay, handmade, decorated bunks for faction members. No rim barrel. Unfortunate. Anyway, there's more than enough water to supply a faction, looking at the number of rim barrels here. And if it's not enough, there's also the neighboring player base. Slightly lesser well made, but it's still a perimeter. And you know the player stayed long enough to build a level 2 rain barrel. And here's the farmer's market. Nothing was done inside the farmer's market, so we can move on to the next area. Okay, on the right, player made barriers against zombies. On the left, metal fences cheated by the moderator. And this is the player made paint showroom where all the different colors of paint has been collected and stored and displayed for visual purposes, something like a visual sample. Nothing much has been built inside the warehouse, but all the items are dumped on the ground. I thought it would be amusing to put a gas pump here. It's because, you know, generator, you can come here to get supplies both for yourself and for your vehicle. Like, it seems like one of the zombies chewed through the wooden crate. Okay, in case you're wondering why is there such an incomplete build over here, this incomplete build is actually there as a camouflage because there is an even more incomplete build, which is an entire plot of land that has been surrounded by composters such that it is zombie free from the interior. Okay, something great could have happened here, but due to the server player population dwindling, nothing was being done. This would have been the next big top. Could have been the bigger top, but that didn't materialize. Clone, clone zombies. Okay, say goodbye to Valley Station. It's time to move into Louisville. There's a lot more interesting stuff inside, but the city is just too vast for me to try to cover everything. Let's see what I can do in 60 minutes. Give you a rundown of the most significant areas in Louisville, the military checkpoint, the riverside mansions, other mega structures built within the city center, TLVC penthouse, faction headquarters. Unfortunately, I do not know where the faction headquarters for Jarheads are located, but I can at least show you something that looks similar to a faction HQ. Okay, please wait, scenery will change in about a minute. And we have arrived at the military checkpoint. As you can see, It doesn't look like a military checkpoint, and that is because it has been remodeled. Okay, someone decided to live here, but he was not around anymore. Okay, the barracks, the tents have been kept as is so that items can continue to spawn. And if you look at this, the silhouette of multiple mannequins, and where there are people who decorate their house with mannequins, and it means that this is also a player base. Signs of life, more signs of life. How could a train yard have rows of phone booths? The grand piano. I don't think this is the extent of its building. There is something more. How do I know that there's something more? Green barrels. Let's see if there's any way to get up there legitimately. Probably not. No, can't see anything. Okay, open window, add escape rope, climb through. Please stop breaking my things, Erica. Okay, a cozy home away from home, out of sight, out of mind. Okay, and let's continue on. So many exits. broken down fences. Okay, and what's used to be a fenced up area has been made way to lead to another player made building somewhere along this area. As you can see, fences that extend, wall crates, and what's this? A brick wall building. That's not something a player can make. Perhaps they can make it in build 42. Have gun will travel. Emerald Dylan. Zombie clearing and trading gathering services. Looks like whatever useful has been taken away from here. All that's left is items on the floor, items in the crates. And you definitely know that there's not supposed to be a gas station around here, but yet there is. This is Death Legion exclusive buildings. And speaking of exclusive buildings, LBMW HQ is here. So it's more like a rest stop, more than a faction HQ. Looks like somebody trashed the place. I think there's more. I can possibly climb higher. Okay, a little cozy room for DJ stood. And next to LBMW is the administrator's sanctioned PvP area known as the arena. While you have beef with another player, settle it man to man in the cage match. Locker room, reception bar, and outside of the arena, nothing much except a walled off place free of zombies. Maybe not anymore now that there's a break in the wall crate. Okay, and this is your entry to the gateway of the large city called Louisville. Yeah, this road leading into the city is well walled off on both sides. Keep zombies out, keep zombies in. Okay, hospital, nothing much, no changes, except that it's walled off from the general public. It will take sufficient effort just to be there. And this road is a well protected road that leads all the way to Mansion Row. Well protected. Also serves as a shooting gallery if you need to train your shooting. Alright, we have arrived at Mansion Row. Let's take a look at the buildings around here. Yeah, most of the buildings will be separated by fences, whether be they man-made or there by default. Now, how did that Franklin all-terrain get onto that small piece of land? Okay, when you think of rich, you think of something like this house, even though it's in a state of being half plundered. So many vehicles. And what? There's an overhead bridge that leads all the way to more buildings. Looks like the beginning of a fashion complex. Player added one more floor, two more floors onto the house. Probably a lot more crates in the upper floors for all the supplies. And I'm not wrong, it probably lesser crates than I would have expected. Okay, and this is the surroundings of this building. Let's continue on. Empty inside, crates lining the side of the walls. This church did not belong here. It's a player custom built on empty ground in between the houses. Look, perfectly well created tennis court. It's not a garage. A garage with a it's been months. Months, years. Server has seen better days and now it's on its final hours. Uh, B42 probably releasing soon, and B41 will soon be forgotten. Okay, next house. Nothing much for this place. Not much has been built. Everything has been hollowed out for more space. Just like any other player houses. Okay, a bit more effort has been made to have water and probably for farming. Other than that, I don't see anything that's too different from other houses. Mini house, still very much a work in progress compared to all the other builds. Bakery, this used to be for the community, and right next to it, the hotel. Well, not too sad since you are here. Will you be joining B42 Death Legion? Confusion. Somewhere in the corner, Riverside. And I'm only halfway along Mansion Row. Okay, got to step up my pace. Okay, this is the hotel. Nice. Join the Discord and stay tuned for announcements. Bah, is this a church or something else? Rescue vehicles. Somebody dismantled or destroyed the metal wall. Someone built an entire mansion all by themselves on empty space. Yeah, this is the state of most of the houses along the mansion row. Oh, someone's living here. It's KP. Not to be confused with Chief KP. There are two different accounts made by the same person. Half fixation. Someone ripped the signboard of an auto center. And the inside, yee. Okay, this is a case of somebody abusing admin rights to lay down floors. Okay, the brown color lines are made because there's wooden flooring at the bottom. And then new floor gets pasted just on top of it. You can still fish inside swimming pools. However, I wonder if the same will be hold true in Build 42. I wonder if you will still be able to fish in non-fishing areas. Just a pretty perimeter. Nothing much inside the build. House look pretty much the same. No effort to create rim barrels above. There we go. Nice. All connected. And let me guess, inside is more or less hollowed out. Okay, probably not. But at least it's filled to the brim with crates and supplies. What? A bathtub on grass patches? Not even wooden floors below? You have enough planks to build a ceiling, but no planks to lay down the floor. Okay. Okay, and this is the last of the mansion row. Rich in resources, not so rich in furniture. Okay, and beyond this is an industrial area. No houses. Alright, now let's look at the other lane. There are probably 3 more houses which are significant. Let's start from this area. Oops, my bad. Too close to a zombie. This building is Smoothie's house. I call him the hiatus man because he announced that he is going on a hiatus and has never returned to continue playing after that. Hope to see you, Smoothie. Come join B42. The world is waiting. And inside is just more of the same. Okay, next. This area is a church. This church has been converted into a community center. However, just because it is a community center doesn't mean there is a community built around it. So it's well stocked up, but nobody is ever utilizing this place. Most players who enter Louisville build their own bases and then they tend to keep to themselves unless they are part of a bigger faction. So speaking of bigger faction, if we go along this road, we will come to TLVC HQ, a giant faction compound full of a lot of things. And because it is full of a lot of things, it will interfere with map loading. And that means I have to start traveling towards it from far away to allow the server to load. Ping 1000. Black screen. Black screen slowly receding. Nice. Oops. Time to turn in. Probably I should slow myself down to a walk just to be sure the map loads. Okay, the penthouse. Straight ahead. Sky bridges connecting to other buildings. If you want to have a quick getaway from zombies. Alright, I have successfully loaded the penthouse and now we can explore around it. This is not the penthouse. This is the terrace house around the penthouse. This is the penthouse. And I should invite myself here. Invite myself. Maybe I should release my safe house. Quit safe house. So that I can join the safe house. Yeah, I'm inviting myself in. Deal with it. Player zombie. Player zombie. Right. The basement or the ground level parking lot protected by safe house limits. One of the more unfair locations to start your base in because of the sheer size of the safe house. Okay, and this is only the second floor. And the second floor is connected to another row house. More real estate for building. And as if the safe house parking lot is not enough, well, we have more space outside for more cars. You get a car, you get a car, and everyone gets a car. Okay, going up. And I think I should go up some more. Level 3. Infirmary. Rooms that no one has bothered to take care. All they did is just remove the electronic appliances to reduce power drain on the generator. Okay, going up. Level 4. More of the same. Probably lesser crates and supplies. Because who want to travel so high up just to get shotgun shells? Okay, you'll see that it's mostly empty. Can't get fresh water, too troublesome to hot supplies. Level 5, more of the same. Living space if needed, but I don't think they would simply come up to such a high area just to cook. Okay, level 6, almost at the top. Hey, hey, all the VHS on the floor. Hey, let you at least keep them in the shelf. Okay, the shelves are filled out with other skill books. Understandable. Alright, level 7. The Sky Garden or the Sky Farm, whichever you consider. Ah, more supplies on the higher floors. Probably to be designed to be out of reach to most ordinary players or players who find it a chore just to go all the way up. Alright, and now level 8, the tallest level. Rim barrels, nothing more. Okay, and this has been TLVC HQ. At least I have this on tape. On tape, like 1.5 hours into the live stream, buried deep within the disinterest of most regular watchers. Looks like someone is having a moving out sale, or the electronic appliances move out just to reduce generator drain. And I guess this place is what I would consider the Jarhead headquarters. Okay, a large square-shaped building, fully fortified with televisions on somewhere. If you need to block zombies, just place the televisions. Yep, here as well. If you need to block zombies, just place the televisions on these empty tiles. Someone has a well thought out defense that doesn't involve building wall crates. More wall crates, the community washing point, an apartment complex that is closed off to the external environment. Rest in peace. Okay, this is a sealed apartment. Technically speaking, no one would be living inside here. The apartment is sealed so that zombies do not spawn inside. But I guess things has changed. Let's see if there's a way to get out to the roof. I don't think there is. No stairs leading up. Maybe there is some way to get up here after all. Okay, I'm not. I don't think I'll be around to see to that. Okay, next area. Fort Onion. Where should I be? Okay, this is Louisville Central Park. Most of it are intact, except for one corner over here, which has been repurposed into a big structure. So let's try visiting it from somewhere around here. See this? An arrow? It's a sign. Alright, welcome to Fort Onion. Population zombies. As long as the fort is not entirely enclosed, zombies will continue to spawn. And with such a big space, the more zombies that spawn inside the fort, the faster the fort gets damaged beyond repair. So all that's left is just a zombie infested fort. Okay, let's see if I can okay, and next building, the ramparts. I think this must be the main building. Furthest away from the walls. Okay, this is the guard tower, annex buildings, untouched forest. And all the damaged walls because the zombies didn't like wood. Yeah, such a pity. But eventually, such a wall setup will collapse. Just a matter of time. Okay, so let's see if this building is well furnished. Not exactly well furnished, but at least it is a building. I think this building is supposed to be the garage, looking at how the walls, the double gates are being built. Okay, it's amazing what one person can build. Took him a lot of time, but didn't he didn't complete his build before he left the server. Okay, after Fort Onion, we have Freedom Town. Freedom Town. Freedom Town is a settlement that is enclosed by a natural brick wall and converted into a faction town. Although the number of faction members in this town is a lot less than the number of buildings it can house. Okay, as you can see, we have just entered from a side gate entrance. Okay, the entrance is well made. I can tell that the entrance can only be accessed from the upper floors, but the upper floors don't look safe. One side is fenced up, but the other is not. You can easily fall down. Okay, the actual Freedom Town HQ is on this corner. And the build is limited by the size and perimeter of the house. Uh, uh, who's gonna make the rain now? Rainmaker is dead. Rainmaker, welcome to the server. Hope you stay around long enough to join B42 Death Legion. Okay, nothing much to show for this area. Where else? Where else? Where else? Ah, there's one more cross here. Behind the industrial district on South Louisville, two players have made this corner of the neighborhood their forever home. You can tell by the number of cars being parked outside his compound. House number 1, lived in by player number 1. House number 2, because it is abnormal to see this number of boxes outside the house. Okay, I think is there any else which I can show? Yeah, most of Louisville is mostly empty. Ah, one more. Okay, just like West Point, there is a East Louisville. I, oh, this is part of Freedom Town. Yeah, this is still part of Freedom Town. Okay, but this is definitely not part of Freedom Town. Okay, a garden, wall crate configuration. Not too much furnishings in the interior. But since this is a complex made up of 3 houses, 3 houses interconnected by a second floor walkway. Second floor walkway. Pretty sure there will be a walkway to this house as well if they didn't leave before they complete the build. Okay, they wanted to tell more floors, but this is the extent they could get their hands on. Yeah, red tiles are not very common. Even in Louisville, only the certain night spots will be having it. And once you tear those away, they don't respawn. Okay, and I see the zombies are eating the crates from within. Where Okay, so there we have it. I think that's all the places I would like to show you around West Point, West Point, Benview, my house, my faction compound, the military checkpoint, the mansion row, the biggest faction in Louisville, and some of the other impressive builds. Okay, so I will call it a day, call it a close, call it whatever it is. Build 41 Death Legion will be remembered in memory, if not by this live stream. So thank you for watching. Appreciate you hanging out. Subscribe, click the notification button to be informed of future content. And I hope to see you again in my live streams dedicated for Build 42 Death Legion. Okay, so see you in the next video. Bye. Bye. Can I do an emote? Can I do an emote? What's the button for emote again? Friendly plat. Yeah, this is what happens when you have items in your hand. Unequip. Unequip. Okay, let's try it again. Okay. Ending the stream.